Senator Scott Newman joined the bonding tour, and he joins us now to talk a little bit about what he saw and what he anticipates in 2014. Thank you for joining us, Senator.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Let's begin with the bonding bill. It's expected to come in at about $1 billion in 2014. $2.8 billion were requested. In your opinion, do the apparent needs of Minnesota outweigh any opposition to the size of the bill?
Well, I think you have to kind of put things in perspective a little bit. There are certain needs that it is in the best interest of the state of Minnesota as a whole to bond for. And then there are other, we'll call them needs, very earnest local needs where the folks are very sincere about their requests, but truly aren't what I would consider projects of statewide or regional interest. And so somehow you have to come up with the dividing line on that. I think we're very fortunate in having Senator Stumpf as the chairman. He is an absolute gentleman, and I believe that he is going to, albeit come under some political pressure eventually, I think he's going to do his absolute best to put together a bonding bill that is the best for the state of Minnesota as a whole. And
you recently went on the tour. What was your impression of the site visits?
Well, I've been on 3 of them now so far. 3 different parts of the state. We've got 2 more to go. My impression is this, is that there are certain projects that we must bond for.
Such as?
St. Cloud Prison. Turns out, and I didn't know this, St. Cloud Prison is the intake and outtake facility for the entire corrections facility. And when we went in there and we looked at the area that these prisoners, some of which are frankly dangerous, that they are moving through, we simply have to improve that facility. I think that Moose Lake, for instance, has got a real problem with their command center, the sort of the nerve center, and they're going to have to fix that. And then there are other projects that, again, albeit the local folks are very serious and very courteous about, and very earnest in their request, simply, in my estimation, do not raise or rise to the level of a project being of statewide significance, which is really what our responsibility is.
Senator Stumpf says that asset preservation is a top priority for him as he creates his bill. Representative Alice Hausman says that higher ed tends to outweigh other areas, and that includes research and development for her. What do you think needs to be in a bonding bill?
Projects of statewide significance. That's what I think is going to be the litmus test.
But go ahead.
You mentioned asset preservation. I think Senator Stumpf is just absolutely bang on. We as a state own lots and lots of different buildings in various arenas, various agencies. And once we own them, we are obligated to take care of them. The best example I can give you is your Capitol. We came up with the money necessary to fix our Capitol. And so it's called HEAPR, as I'm sure that you are aware of, and we have to preserve those assets. So I do agree with Senator Stumpf on that.
What are your thoughts on the recent lawsuit to the new legislative office building? That lawsuit claims that building should have been a part of the bonding bill, not the tax bill.
That brings up a really good question, and one that Senator Stumpf is legitimately worried about, and that's bonding capacity. It's, to me, as a reforming lawyer, I think it's really an interesting legal question, because to pass a bonding bill you have to have 60%, whereas to pass a tax bill you have to have a simple majority. So is there a legal issue in there that is legitimate? In my estimation, yes. How the Supreme Court will ultimately sort it out, I don't know. But Senator Stumpf is justifiably concerned that other committees other than capital investment, are burning up the bonding capacity of this state through other committees, which in reality should go through the Capital Investment Committee. And I think Senator Stumpf is correct.
Senator, we are just about out of time, but I want to ask you, when you talked about some of these local projects, are those necessary so you can get 60% of the votes, a supermajority, to represent folks' districts? And do you ever think will they ever really be left out of a bonding bill?
There is, in my estimation, unfortunately, that's where the politics that does come into play. And I have never been a legislator that favors what I would consider truly local projects, and I doubt that I ever will. But there are exceptions. There are exceptions. And the best example that I could give you would be in the southwest part of the state of Minnesota. They are literally running out of water. And it is at best a regional bonding request that they have put in to help them pipe in water from out from the Missouri River. And what impressed me was the presentation when the gentleman who was making the request said, look, we're not asking you for money to build a swimming pool or to build a civic arena. We are asking for basic water so that we can live. And that really kind of puts things into perspective. So I would have to say that it's not a hard and fast rule that local projects never rise to that level. Sometimes they do.
Would you support a $1 billion bonding bill?
For the biennium, the answer is yes.
Not necessarily for 2014.
For the biennium. We have already utilized, 130 or 150 million dollars?
Mm-hmm.
And the agreement is that it was $1 billion for the biennium, and I expect that we will hold to that.
Okay. Well, we will track it, of course, during session. Senator Newman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.